as we take a look ahead to this year and the Central Division. Bruce, I know this is tough for you, but we've got some questions really to kind of have an overall outlook. And I want to begin with who has been most impressive this offseason.
Well, I think when you look at it, pretty well free agency is done now. Teams have sort of got everything together in August. But you have to think that Nashville, with the way they went out and got star power to go with the team that, you know, had a 17-game unbeaten streak already this year, might be the team that did the best. I mean, I look at, you know, Steven Stamkos is going to come and bring more instant credibility. Jonathan Marchessault, a Conn Smythe winner the year before. Brady Shea, one of the top defensemen on Carolina, who had one of the best defenses in the league. These are guys. Scott Wedgwood, he's a pretty good backup. You know, you can play him at any time. So, I mean, I love the moves that they made. And so, I mean, if you look at the Central Division, you say, geez, you know what, Dallas, they sort of retooled, but are they as good on defense as the year before? We don't know. I don't think they are. But, I mean, so I think Barry just said, hey, listen, let's go for it. We can win this division if we just have a couple additions. And they went out and got the couple additions. So I think Nashville is probably I wouldn't say improved because they were okay, but I do think that they've got a really good chance to be the favorite or one of the favorites going in to the Central Division this year.
Yeah, and I have to imagine having a motivated Steven Stamkos on that group as well is really going to be fun to watch with that Nashville club. But the other team you're really trying to decide between, you were also impressed with the offseason Chicago had. Why?
Well, because they got 8 players that are NHL players. I mean, they improved their defense. They got Teravainen, who was there with the Cup team, and Bertuzzi, and you get the veterans in Patrick Maroon and Alex Martinez. Craig Smith has been around. These guys are veteran hockey players, and I really think the guy that could be a real he might not look it on paper because he didn't have a great year last year was Mikheyev. If his leg is back from and sometimes it takes 2 years for an ACL injury to get back, and he came back a little quick last year, and it showed when he was playing in Vancouver. But if he can play, that just becomes the fits. I'm all about fits and putting those pieces to the puzzle. I think Chicago's not going to be the team that everybody for the last couple of years has just walked over, and I think they're going to be an awful lot tougher. And I think before the season starts, they're going to look and say, hey, boys, we've got a chance at doing something this year, and they're going to be a highly motivated team.
Yeah, we know, of course, they've already got that young superstar in Connor Bedard. So those are teams that have really been impressive this offseason. Let's talk about one that perhaps has a bit more work to do. Who's jumping off the page there in the division? Well,
you know what? I just believe Winnipeg.
Okay.
It looks to me like, I mean, they lost some pretty talented players in Sean Monahan. I mean, Tyler Toffoli was only there after the trade deadline, didn't make that much of an impression, but Brendan Dillon and Nate Schmidt on that defense. Laurent Brossoit was a really good backup for them. And I think what they got was a lot of fifth and sixth and seventh defensemen in their signings. So I mean, I think if they run into any injury problem, they could have a problem. I don't think they're a 110-point team, at least starting this year. And I mean, if you look at that team right there, that's just not going to be as strong as it was in the past.
Yeah, not something that we're accustomed to seeing there with Winnipeg, of course, a change behind the bench as well. Now we'll go to a team that perhaps could surprise us. And I really liked your answer for this one because it's about, you talk about finding that right fit. It's just a little change can go a long way, and a change in scenery here, in this case, as your choice is Utah.
Yeah, and the reason I thought that was, it's simple. I've been on teams that have transferred to other or you go to cities for the first time. Right. And I think this is going to be such a pleasant surprise, for the holdovers from Arizona, that they don't have to worry every day where their kids are going to go to school next week, next year, and everything else. Utah's a great hockey town, and they added 3 quality defensemen. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, I mean, they add 3 defensemen. I think their goaltending is quite well and understated because they were getting so many shots on goal against them last year. But, I mean, you add those 3 quality defensemen to a team that wants to win and is motivated to play in their new hometown. I think they're going to be a surprise team, and they could all skate. Like, I mean, they've done a great job in drafting kids that can skate. Now you put them in an environment where they're going to have more than 4,500 of their fans there at a game, and I think they could really surprise you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a show in town, too. I'm excited to see hockey in Utah at the NHL level. So we'll circle back to where we began, and that was the best team in the division. Last year, of course, it was the Dallas Stars who took that title. Who do you anticipate grabbing that this year?
Well, again, I think anything is up for grabs, but I do think Nashville has made the steps that they can get ahead of Dallas. I mean, Colorado's got the star power, but I don't know if they've got. There's so much with injuries with Colorado, and I mean, I don't know. Who's coming back? I mean, Nikolitin is maybe till Christmas, even if they want him back. Landeskog, who knows if he's going to play again? I mean, but they're going to be dangerous because Nathan MacKinnon is Nathan MacKinnon, Rantanen is Rantanen. But, I mean, I think they'll be there. I think Dallas will be there, but I don't think Dallas got any better, even though losing Pavelski, I think, hurt. But, I mean, they also lost Tanev and Hakanpää and Ryan Suter, who played big minutes for those guys. And I think that on defense, when they got Dumba, Lyubushkin, and Brendan Smith, I don't think they're quite as good as those guys. So I think if they get 113 points, they're still going to be there. But I think they're probably a 100-point-plus team, but I don't know if they're much more than that this year.
All right, so if you called it right now, though, you would say?
I'd go Nashville.
You would still go Nashville.
And Colorado's going to be in those three teams. And I'm even looking today, I'm looking at Minnesota, and I think Minnesota improved a little bit. Their big thing is they're going to get Spurgeon back, a healthy Spurgeon for a year. Faber's got another year under his belt he's got a big deal, but he's only basically a second-year player. So, I mean, he's going to be better. So, I mean, I think with the little bit of third and fourth line adjustments that Minnesota's made, they're going to be a little bit better this year. So, I mean, I think that whole Central Division race is going to be tight like it's always been.